Our league is not the worst rubbish in Europe, but in the whole world. It's a third world competition where two clubs steal the money that the rest of us fight for. Hello everyone, my name is Jason Demezenis and I'm here to talk to you today about the Spanish Football League, also known as La Liga, and the problems it is facing, as well as providing some recommendations on how these problems can best be eradicated. The presentation has been broken up into 4 parts: general information, a comparative analysis, La Liga in detail, and recommendations for accountable stakeholders. So I'd just like to point out some information. So England has been used as a comparison due to its large worldwide TV rights revenue. Germany has been used as a comparison due to its sponsorship deals, evenness of the league, and club ownership. For the purposes of this presentation, figures will be presented in euros, and the exchange rate that was used was £1 to 1.0404 euros. La Liga was founded in 1929 and is a top division in Spanish football. It is administered and controlled by the Liga de Fútbol Profesional, better known as the LFP. It is the 5th in terms of attendance for all sporting leagues, which is 3rd for association football. There are 20 teams each in the top 2 divisions, followed by 80 teams in a massive quadruple split 3rd division, which actually includes some reserve teams of La Liga clubs. In 1977, Bert Lance famously said, "If it ain't broke, don't fix it." Currently, El Clasico, which refers to any match that's contested by Real Madrid and FC Barcelona, is the most watched club football game in the world, watched by hundreds of millions of people. The tension with the state and Catalonia has created more of an interest as the sides do battle each year. La Liga currently ranks number 1 for leagues in the UEFA coefficient, which gives them the highest amount of European club competition places. Recent successes by Spanish clubs in Europe have been beneficial to the league's success. In the last 10 years, FC Barcelona have won the UEFA Champions League 3 times, Sevilla FC and Atletico Madrid have won the UEFA Europa League twice each, and Valencia won it back in 2004. In addition, RCD Espanyol and Athletic Bilbao have reached the final of the Europa League. La Liga boasts some of the best players in the world. Currently, Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, Gareth Bale, Neymar and Andres Iniesta all apply their trade in La Liga, and this is a main draw card for the league. Atletico Madrid's 2013/14 season has resulted in just 1 defeat as they sit in 2nd position after 11 matches played. They are playing at a level that can rival the Big Two and are showing that the league may not just be a 2-team league. With just viewing these positives, outside football supporters may not totally understand the seriousness of the issues that are engulfing the Spanish league. I will now demonstrate the issues for La Liga in greater detail by showing comparative analysis of Spain, England and Germany in football. We'll begin the comparative analysis by comparing TV rights distribution because it's this topic that a lot of critics point to when it comes to the flaws of the Spanish league. These figures are from the 2011-12 season. So as we can see here, we have very contrasting styles of distribution. The first thing to point out is that both the English Premier League and the German Bundesliga have centralised TV rights deals. La Liga, on the other hand, requires clubs to negotiate their own deals with TV networks, which of course results in drastic consequences for clubs. So in terms of the English Premier League, they are very well spread, and clubs towards the bottom end of the table rely on TV rights as one of the primary sources of income. As you can just see, it's just €23.3 million that separates the top earner from the bottom, which I believe is very reasonable, as it helps for lower placed clubs to afford quality players, but still doesn't insult the big guns at the top. The German Bundesliga also adopts an interesting strategy. Their TV rights deal has risen to €638 million a year. In terms of money distribution to clubs, they have a fascinating point system which is applied. The system gives weight to clubs based on their performances in the top 2 flights of German football over the last 4 seasons and divides the money using points averages for each club. In addition, you can obviously see from the table that the clubs are earning far less from TV rights. However, Bundesliga clubs make their money from ticket sales and are earning significantly more from shirt sponsorship. In terms of our focus league in Spain, the TV money differential is enormous with Real Madrid and FC Barcelona earning a massive €98 million more than Atletico Madrid, who earn €42 million a season. This decentralised model that is implemented is causing major problems for lower end clubs as they struggle for survival in the league. I'll go into more detail of the effect of these deals later on in the presentation. So I thought I'd give a quick summary of the price of football of the three major leagues and how the prices of matchday and season tickets stack up. As we can see on the right, the average ticket price in the English Premier League is higher than the other two leagues. This is due to the German league typically relying on season ticket sales and overall popularity of the league, and the Spanish league being financially struck for cash and having to have lower ticket sales to get matchday profits. As we look at the table at the bottom of the screen, we can see that Atletico Madrid are offering rather expensive season tickets. The consensus for Atletico is that their die-hard fans will pay a premium to guarantee their tickets and that the casual fan can still get value for their money. On match days, for lower profile games, clubs will often slash their ticket prices to get people to go to their games. For example, Rayo Vallecano reduced prices to just €9.95 for their last home game against Levante. However, clubs are commenting that slashing ticket prices is having little effect on its consumers. In regards to Real Madrid and FC Barcelona, they choose to have rather low season ticket prices due to the fact that to gain a season ticket, you need to be a socio to apply for season ticket access, and therefore they aren't available to the public. So we'll move on to shirt sponsors now, and this is where you can start to see the magnitude of it all. As you can see, there were 6 clubs in La Liga last season which did not have a shirt sponsor. This includes current UEFA Champions League contestants Real Sociedad, who only a few days ago competed against Manchester United, as well as Sevilla FC, being a reputable name. Many Spanish clubs are unable to secure shirt sponsorship due to Spain's poor economic situation and La Liga clubs not being a wise investment. Spanish companies are seeing the regression that is curtailing the Spanish league in terms of support, viewers, and financial return. I'd also like to point out that UNESCO are being paid by Malaga to be on the shirt, as FC Barcelona used to do with UNICEF. A statistic which isn't totally embraced is the amount of likes each team has on Facebook. Social media is the new front for advertising for businesses and sports clubs, and no exception. This statistic is a great way of measuring the support for clubs for the Spanish league, as Facebook experienced its worldwide boom around the time that the Spanish league began its decline. As we can see here, FC Barcelona and Real Madrid are leading the way for Spanish league likes by some margin. One fact which shows the popularity problem and social awareness in Spain is the number of clubs that exceed 100,000 likes. For England and Germany, they are 17 and 14 respectively, and West Bromwich Albion isn't far away from making it 18 out of 20 clubs in England. For Spain, it's a mere 7 out of 20 clubs. And when you look at that, neither Rayo Vallecano or Getafe even have an official Facebook page administered by the club. So by now, I've thrown numerous statistics from Germany and England that substantially outnumber Spain, but now it needs to be critically analysed. In the most recent off-season, of the 10 sides that trailed the top 2 in last season's table, 8 have sold their best player. Atletico Madrid sold Radamel Falcao, Real Sociedad sold Asier Iaramendi, and so forth. All of these clubs, except Atletico, failed to bring in a substantial replacement due to financial reasons. In other words, they are purchasing players not to have significant financial gain in the transfer market, but the money goes straight to eliminating the debt. Only Real Betis' Beñat, who was bought by Athletic Bilbao, and Rayo Vallecano's Pitti, who went to Granada, joined another La Liga club that wasn't one of the big two. The others departed overseas. An unbalanced league is leading to a lack of competition for the big two, and is also leading to an uninteresting league matches on the weekend for football fans. Over the last few seasons, Real Madrid and Barcelona have been gaining momentum and using their buying power extensively to create a larger gap over its opponents. Only in 2007-08 season did Barcelona not finish second, as they experienced a year of progression by revamping their squad. And Villarreal finished second. However, the main thing to take away from this table is that in the last 4 seasons, the margin between second and third place is gaining. There was a major issue in 2011-12 season where Valencia, who finished third on 61 points, were actually mathematically closer to relegation than the championship, as they were 30 points off first place and just 20 points from relegation. So when you have an unbalanced league, it leads to a lack of interest from the public. In conjunction with Spain's poor economic state, This has led to lower attendances. We can see the negative trend that is occurring in the Spanish League in terms of attendances. Clubs are regularly selling out stadiums overseas in England and Germany, yet La Liga struggles to hit 70% of tickets sold in recent years. Clubs need ticket sales to get by as they rely on supporters' passion to keep coming back, not just for tickets but for merchandise. But after time, if the club knows its fate before the season has even started, they're obviously less inclined to support the club. Low attendances are occurring due to the lateness that the Spanish League announces its scheduling. The league allocates match days throughout the season, yet does not announce the final day and kick-off time until approximately 2 weeks prior to the match. This is causing frustration amongst fans by the lack of preparation the league is showing. Fans are also concerned with some of the kick-off times across the league. Throughout the season, particularly in the summer months, La Liga's kick-off times can stretch as late as 11 o'clock at night, even if it's being played on a weekday. This is for two reasons. One, so the players aren't being played in extreme heat conditions, and two, so the league's kick-off times can be scheduled around the English Premier League so that certain games don't clash. This shows that LFP understands their position currently in world football, despite La Liga's supposed number one ranking in UEFA. Several fans have been quite vocal and have been chanting at games in disgust. In addition, a fan has created a petition online in an attempt to abolish this type of scheduling. It has just over 650 signatures. Poor attendances brings us to clubs having to drastically cut their budget. Real Madrid and Barcelona share a massive €987 million budget. To make matters worse, is that the total for the other 18 clubs in the league is €872 million, which is €115 million less than the top two combined. It's fair to say that financially, La Liga is way unbalanced, which is causing clubs struggle to keep afloat. And you can see the difference here between 1st and 20th. All these lost finances are causing massive issues for clubs in Spain. As a result, 24 professional Spanish clubs have gone into administration in recent seasons. Most notably, these include Deportivo La Coruña, Racing Santander, and Real Zaragoza. Deportivo La Coruña went to administration earlier this year. They currently owe €150 million. They have made cutbacks where they can, such as wages by letting players go, cancelling the Wi-Fi at their stadium to lower the telecommunications bill, and even stopping the official meals with the opposition on match days. This is a club that enjoyed success not too long ago. It was just 13 years ago when Deportivo won the league title. Great players such as Rivaldo and Bebeto once graced their rooms, and just 10 years ago they made the UEFA Champions League semi-final. Racing Santander filed for administration in 2011 when they had no president and weren't quite sure who owned them. They were €50 million in debt when they filed for administration, and they now sit Group 1 of the 3rd Division. It was only 18 years ago when Real Zaragoza won the Euro Cup, which was the former Europa League. Real Zaragoza applied for voluntary administration whilst competing in Primera Division in 2011. The debt currently stands at €110 million. The club claimed that the origin of the problem lied when they were relegated from the Primera Division at the end of the 2007-08 season, as there were limited relegation parachute payments for sides who were relegated. And if clubs aren't going into administration and are having success, then they are suffering at the hands of UEFA. Champions League quarterfinalists Malaga were due to compete in this season's Europa League, due to finishing 6th in La Liga last season, yet have been banned for failing to pay their players' wages, and as a result do not comply with financial fair play regulations. Due to Malaga's suspension from the Europa League, this opened up a place for Rayo Vallecano. Last year, the Bucaneros enjoyed a dream run, finishing 8th in La Liga. However, their place in Europe was taken from them due to having overdue payables and subsequently weren't granted a UEFA license. It's situations like these that are having a negative impact on the clubs and their morale. Playing in European competition would have eased the club's debts and would have helped their financial state. However, when they do have a great run of performances, they are halted and lack a sustainable future. The question is, who is accountable for Rayo Vallecano in the past, present, and the future? Does responsibility come from UEFA from not allowing their participation? Should UEFA perform its duty to help support European football by allowing Rayo Vallecano to compete? Is the club accountable for not being able to pay off their debts? Is La Liga accountable for not providing an adequate financial structure in regards to centralised TV rights? The problem in La Liga at the moment is lack of accountability. I came across Rayo Vallecano's supporter group page. Their last status update was a rant that said that they, as travelling fans in their next away match, was not sitting down in their allocated seats until the 24th minute in their away fixture to Real Valladolid for the coming weekend's game due to a stand against the LFP. They added a quote that roughly translates to, "Football has died. We, as followers, are trying to revive it." And if the supporters are losing faith in the LFP and UEFA, then imagine how the players must feel. This was present in the 2011 La Liga strike. Players in Spain's top two divisions went on strike on the first day of the season after the Association of Spanish Footballers, the AFE, couldn't agree on a deal that would allow players to break their contracts if they are not paid for 3 consecutive months. During the start of the 2011-12 season, approximately 200 players were not fully paid, which resulted to around €50 million being amounted to unpaid contracts. So, in terms of recommendations, firstly, the TV rights needs addressing. It is the best way to assist in amending the unevenness of the league. As previously mentioned, TV rights are decentralised in Spain, and this results in Real Madrid and Barcelona grossly outselling the rest of the league due to their worldwide popularity and star attractions. Real Madrid and Barcelona will continue to grow further and further apart from the rest of the league until these TV rights become centralised. In order to do this, legislation needs to be brought through the government to strongly regulate the Spanish league's clubs. Miguel Cardenal, who is president of Spain's Sports Council, supports this theory. He adds that having the league control TV revenues would increase transparency and improve the state's ability to collect on its tax bills. Chief Executive of La Liga, Francisco Roca, believes clubs in Spain will agree to sell their television rights collectively within the next 3 years. The problem, of course, lies with the big two. Real Madrid and Barcelona are reluctant to give up their position that the league has in place due to their vast economic benefits. Both clubs believe that in order to maintain pace with the top European clubs, that they need the TV revenue to remain what it is due to both clubs' debts as well. LFP President Javier Tebas has said that Barcelona and Real Madrid are open to selling TV rights collectively if the income doesn't decrease. In this case, it would be €140 million each. This is simply not feasible for the Spanish league in today's economic times, and the government must intervene. In addition, due to the vast attention and respect that Real Madrid and Barcelona receive due to their dominance in Spain, the LFP are reluctant to go against the big two's will. Currently, the TV rights total package is set at €600 million if you add the 20 La Liga teams' packages up. The French Ligue 1's TV rights package in 2011 was sold for €700 million. Surely the collective agreement could reach €900 million for La Liga if legislation was enforced. The re-establishment of an even league won't happen overnight. In fact, due to the massive following for Real Madrid and Barcelona, it may never totally be fair. But it's a change that can be enforced and can contribute substantially in the long run. Secondly, the league must address the La Liga late kickoffs. It is remarkable that the LFP believes it can schedule late kickoffs and its fans will oblige in these economic times. The Spanish league needs to return to being family friendly and create a positive atmosphere at a reasonable hour. The league needs to work on getting back the supporters' trust in order to create transparency and league sustainability. The league needs to be smarter in its scheduling. It had brought in the midday kickoff a few years ago, and it had worked successfully, with fans of all ages being able to enjoy a game at a convenient time. Real Madrid sold out their win against Osasuna at the Santiago Bernabeu in their first match at their early kickoff, and Chinese and Asian markets viewership was at substantial numbers. Yet the league shows little faith in the idea and still reschedules Real Madrid and FC Barcelona at later kickoffs to win over the Premier League, Bundesliga and Serie A fans. The league needs to understand its market better. In Europe, supporters put their favourite club first. Most European clubs, such as the top flights in England, Germany, Italy, France, Russia, Portugal and the Netherlands, all have competent leagues, which are well attended and viewed. The LFP have based their scheduling in that they will win the European football fans' late night slot in an attempt to win support when their home country team isn't playing. Alternatively, I recommend the league needs to stick with early kickoffs and not be drawn into night matches. This works in two ways. One, it increases in match attendance for fans and accessibility for Spanish club supporters. And two, it gives the Middle Eastern and Asian markets football prime-time viewing, and it will get to see world-class talent on display at the latest, finishing at midnight in China. Middle Eastern and Asian supporters of football are less attracted to their home club due to the quality of the product, and are big supporters of European clubs. Fans of Real Madrid and Barcelona in China have stated they don't mind watching their team play at 10 or 11 o'clock at night. It's the 4 and 5 a.m. kickoffs they struggle with. The ideal scheduling structure would be to have the lower ranked clubs compete earlier in the day before the Premier League kicks off. This way it draws in the Asian market early when few matches are on. Following which, Real Madrid and Barcelona should compete at non-clashing times or days even, but should rival prime-time Premier League slots on a Sunday afternoon. There are well over 2 billion people in Asia, and they're a market that's being left behind in the Spanish League. Finally, I would recommend that all clubs in La Liga to make a concerned effort to their social networks. Most Spanish clubs have a small presence in La Liga, and this can be improved on so that they can maximise their fan base domestically and internationally. Often social media content is underestimated, but clubs can create popularity and a better fan culture if they grow their club online, as well as giving the fans more opportunity to learn about the club and its players. The league I've grown to love is now a shadow of its former self. Accountability needs to be present with all the stakeholders involved in the running of La Liga to allow it to rise to becoming the greatest league in world sport. Thank you for your attention today.